CeCe, did it look like the Cavs took what happened in Game 1 with them into Game 2? That it was sort of looming over them a little bit as they entered the game?
No, it's really hard to see an effect on the play like that on the rest of the team. And just trying to analyze the first 12 minutes. The person involved, JR, and before the game even started, I thought that they did something major. That was JR. He addressed it, said he didn't know what the score was at that time, kind of changed his statement. I believe that's very, very important because there's a certain level of accountability, regardless of what you answer to the media and people outside the room. Inside, we need to know that you didn't know that. And I believe that was important. He got beyond that by admitting that he made a mistake right there and also said he was glad it happened to him compared to one of his teammates in the first 12 minutes. Unless blowing an opportunity to steal a game, number one, unless it affects your defense, then I would say, yeah, it really affected them because their defense in the first quarter was awful. Their inability to recognize what they were doing as far as slipping the screens, the Warriors getting to the rim, finishing with dunks and layups. If that's it, then yes. But the rest of it, no. JR scored more points in the first quarter than he scored the rest of the game.
He scored his only points.
So I would say no, it didn't have an effect going forward. This is a veteran team. They realized they lost an opportunity. But ultimately, even if it didn't affect them, they know, the Cavs know, man, we gave away a tremendous opportunity.
Listen, who are the people most involved in what happened at the end of Game 1? JR, right? So he was terrible yesterday, but he's been terrible basically the entirety of the playoffs, and the only shots he made... Season, sure. This is the worst season as a pro. The only shots he made were in the first quarter. Who else was involved? George Hill, right? Because he misses the free throw. George Hill was their third best player last night. You want to go even further? Who else was involved? Well, Kevin Love did foul Steph on the previous play that allowed the Warriors to take the lead. Kevin Love was good yesterday. Started off poorly, 2 of 10, but he finished with 22 and 10 on nearly 50% shooting. Like, he was good. And then LeBron was outstanding, man. Like, we have now just started to take this guy for granted. This is insane. Since LeBron came into the league, so last night LeBron accounted for 60 points via scoring and assists. Since LeBron came into the league, a guy accounting for at least 60 points in a finals game has happened 13 times. LeBron's done it 12 of them. And Steph, in Game 2 of last year's NBA Finals, did it. So in the last 15 years, it happened 12 times, 13 times. LeBron's done 12 of them. One of them was last night. Another one, of course, was Game 1. So, like, LeBron was fine. It was everybody else. Jeff Green, 5 of 4. In the first 2 games, Jeff Green, 5 of 14. Last night, Jeff Green gives you, 2 of 7. Kyle Korver, unplayably bad. Jordan Clarkson continues to be one of the worst rotation players I've ever seen in an NBA Finals. And I saw Sasha Vujacic in the rotation of an NBA Finals. Like, you can't have these guys play that poorly in a game where Steph, Clay, and KD are going to combine for what? They combined for 79 points. Like, there's not paths to victory when those things happen. Even though the Cavs, they didn't get blown out till the very end, I never felt like they were in the game.
Are there things the Cavs can do that are fixable? Can you say, okay, you got to come out and you got to play more with more intensity. You got to play better defense, at least right off the start. You got to be able to, like, get in it more, like some of the things Scalabrine was talking about when you're in the paint, shoot.
Every playoff series, the physicality becomes very important. The sense of urgency becomes important after that. The Cavs know in this, they can't afford to lose this game. So I expect them to play better defense. Role players, they get more energy playing at home. They play better at home. But you can look at the three-point line. The Cavs don't shoot the ball from the three-point line. They are going to have problems. This is an offensive team. They are not a very good defensive team. 100%. One of the bottom 3 defensive teams in the NBA, not for the playoffs, not for this 2-game series, but over the course since when we started the season in November. All right? So 100%. That's how bad they have been. We shouldn't be shocked that we keep seeing spurts where, wow, this is the worst NBA team defensively. Well, yes, I mean, one of the worst.
Which is why what the Warriors did to open the game at the rim was so damaging. When they're slipping screens and getting shots at the rim, and now you have to worry about that, there's going to be separation on the three-point shooters, and Steph was able to take advantage in the fourth quarter. Here is what is so concerning for Cleveland. Show what LeBron James done in the NBA Finals the last 2 years against this Warriors team, the Kevin Durant Warriors team. 35 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists, 56% shooting, and they're 1-6. 35, 11, and 10 has gotten you 1 win, over a 7-game sample size. LeBron is not going to play at a much higher level than he's playing. It's going to be the other guys. Now, does going home solve it for him? Are those guys better at home? The Cavs haven't lost a home playoff game since the first playoff game they played, but they also haven't played a team 60% as good as this Warriors team. Like, the reality is the reason that it had the Cavs been playing the Rockets, I could have come on here and said, even though the Rockets are way more talented, here are the paths to victory. C's harping on the defense for a reason. You have to play 46 minutes of connected defense in order to have a shot against Golden State. The Cavs have a hard time playing 26 minutes of connected defense. It's another reason why Game 1 was so damaging. The defense was good enough to go along with the 50 ball LeBron dropped on them, and they gave that game away, or they had it taken from them, depending on how you look at it.
Right.
Like, there's no fixing that.
Well, the one thing that the Cavs can probably lean on, and is the fact that you showed the graphic, they're 1-6 in those games, even though LeBron has those tremendous numbers. We need LeBron to do exactly what he did, maybe just a little bit more. But in that 1-6 record, there was 3 games that the Cavs could have won. They could have won the game in the series last year. Game number 3, they should have won that game. Game number 5, they could have won that game, and they should have won game number 1. So, yes, even though LeBron has been dominant, even though his reserves have been big, bad, the Cavs have been right there with an opportunity. This game number 2, was a lot like game number 5 last year. After 3 quarters, man, the Cavs, if they have a good fourth quarter, they could steal that win. So I think that there are some positive messages coming from that, even though the record since Durant has gotten there has been 1-6.
You feel good about the Cavs in Game 3 then?
Jenna, this is not a team I felt good about all year. So, no, it's a good question, but my answer is no. There's no way that LeBron said it. We still have to have that fear and edge that we had in game number 1.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.